Hello everybody, welcome back to G Views. I'm a 20-year-old cisgendered white girl who loves talking about movies and TV. Now for today's G View, I'm looking at Interstellar. This might be a complicated one to describe. I watched this last night and I'd never seen it before, and I was like, whoa, because I've heard so many different things. People really loved it, people hated it, people found it very confusing. And I want to just like get right into the movie. So Interstellar is directed by Christopher Nolan, who is personally one of my favourite directors. I love the Dark Knight trilogy, and I love like Dunkirk and Inception. And it came out in 2014, and it stars Matthew McConaughey, Jessica Chastain, I think her name's Mackenzie Foy, Anne Hathaway, Matt Damon, a young Timothy Chalamet, and Michael Caine, of course. He is in every Christopher Nolan film. He is a staple. Okay, so I'm going to go into the plot, so obviously spoilers. This is going to be confusing, but I'm going to keep it really short. Basically, the world on planet Earth is ending, and basically the only crop which is growing is corn, and Matthew McConaughey is like the only person who can fly a spaceship very well. Apparently, because of the Cold War and things like that, history has been altered and people no longer invest in like the space program because of the planet dying. And basically he is tasked with a group of people, including Anne Hathaway, to go back, not to go back in time, but to go back into space to find 3 possible planets that could be options for humans to live there. And previously they had sent 3 astronauts or 3 space explorers to go to these, one per planet, to see if it's inhabitable. Basically they go through like all the, like, they have to leave the, I'm doing a lot of this, they have to leave our galaxy and go into another one. And they basically have to pick and choose which planet, because they encounter a lot of stuff on the planets and they lose loads of time. And it's really crazy because an hour for them is equivalent of 7 years back on Earth. And so Matthew McConaughey is always thinking about Murph. Murph is his daughter, who we see age progressively, and she's like really annoyed at him, so she doesn't send him like space messages, because she's like, he abandoned us, whatever. And then she is, when she grows up, she is really smart, and at the very beginning she believes that there's a ghost in the house, but I predicted that it was Matthew McConaughey's future self communicating with his younger daughter whilst his present self is there. No, his past self is there. He's away for so many decades, and he finds this like time thing which communicates with one person on Earth at a time, and it's created by humans, but you don't really know how. And he then communicates with his daughter to get the right formula or the right code to help, I think, either save Earth. I don't think it's saving Earth, but it's the right code to pick a planet which is habitable or something like that. I don't really know what that code was for. Basically, Murph saved humanity through this code, which was communicated through Morse codes, communicated through her dad's watch. So I have never watched this movie before, but I have listened to the Hans Zimmer score for this movie a lot. It's probably my favourite of his scores, probably my favourite score of all time. Cornfield Chase it's the most beautiful, inspiring, yet like heartbreaking and musical score, and it really puts you into that world of the necessity to try and find another planet, the necessity to try and save humankind. It's beautiful, honestly. It's just so gorgeous. I can't compliment that score enough. I'm really not a space person regarding movies. I find space just like really scary because I think we should be focusing on saving our own planet, You know, kind of what like the people are in the movie. But at the same time, I just get freaked out that like we're gonna F it up, because we always do, and that there's like aliens, because I'm sure there are extraterrestrials out there. My god, I'm going into like conspiracy theories and shit. You know, we obviously won't be the only people in space, and I find it space is crazy how we're just like floating and like, freaks me out. But I usually don't like space movies. I find them kind of complicated. The only time I like them is when there's like a big alien or it's Star Wars. And I gotta say, I love this movie. At times I was really confused by what they're saying, because I actually had the volume really turned up, but I can understand there was a lot of mumbling. You know, Matthew McConaughey's got a thick Texan accent, and Michael Caine's got a thick British, like, Cockney. I don't even think it's Cockney, but like the thick accent or whatever it is. I didn't understand what he was saying. I had to rewind, and even then I couldn't understand. And I was also confused with some of the space terminology and how stuff worked. But regarding like the relativity of time, and how like when Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway were on their one planet, or Cooper was on his one planet, and how spending an hour there was 7 years, I found that so fascinating and like crazy, because it was like a rush to get home, and then events happen and then it cuts their time, and it's like, whoa, because then they're decades, and then like your children are older than you and dying, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of insane. But I love this movie. I got really emotional at the end when an old Murph finally got to see her dad, a young Matthew McConaughey, and I was like bawling. And he just like, I don't know, I surprisingly got really invested into their relationship of father and daughter, and I was like, whoa, like it was really beautiful and really well acted. Do I want to watch it again? Probably not. Like, it is really long, but it didn't feel too long. Like, I was like really invested in it, and it didn't get boring for me. And the visual effects were stunning. Like, honestly, some of the best I've ever seen in a movie. Like, the portrayal of a black hole and the portrayal of the solar system and the galaxy was just so gorgeous. I've never seen anything like it before. So if I had to give this movie a rating, honestly, I'd give the movie a 9 out of 10. I love how I gave it the same rating as Scooby-Doo. My rating system is very subjective to me. You know, I have different tastes than other people, but I was just totally wrapped in it. I guess the only negative was that I was a bit confused by what they were saying, but it did make sense at the end. And also, I wouldn't necessarily rewatch it, whilst I would totally rewatch Scooby-Doo because it's a lot shorter and a lot more fun. I highly recommend this movie. However, you may have different opinions to me, so we will see. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this G-view of Interstellar. Make sure to give it a like and subscribe. I will put my Scooby-Doo review in the description box below, so you can have a little look at that. Make sure to comment down below if you have any other movies or TV shows you want me to watch. I've got a few lined up, just through Netflix and other new releases like that. Make sure to check out my Twitter and Instagram. I've put them in the description box below, and you can type it in and give me a cheeky follow if you'd like. Anyway guys, I hope you are staying safe, and I will see you soon.